It was a day like any other. Birds chirped, mailboxes waited patiently. Then it hit. Snow, not just a sprinkle. A full-blown, whiteout blizzard. Schools closed, grocery stores ran out of milk and bread. But did it stop the residents of Elm Street? No, sir. They would not be deterred. They had lives to live. They bundled up in their warmest coats, pulled on their snow boots, some more successfully than others, and faced the elements. Little did they know, their determination would become the stuff of legend, or at least the talk of the local news. Take Mr. Henderson, for instance. He had a very important meeting. He grabbed his trusty frying pan, the one with the loose handle, and began to shovel out his car. Each swipe of the pan sent snow flying, mostly back onto the car.
This is just so unfair.
His neighbors peeked from behind their curtains, stifling laughter.
Poor Mr. Henderson, he means well.
Down the street, Mrs. Peabody, a woman who always had a coupon for everything, was trying to reason with the snowdrift blocking her driveway.
Now, I simply refuse to pay extra for home delivery.
The snowdrift remained unimpressed. Mildred, with her sensible shoes and even more sensible hat, decided her usual bus route was out of the question.
No matter, Mittens. I shall simply ice skate to work.
And skate she did, down the middle of the street in her sensible shoes, which were surprisingly slippery on ice. Her neighbors watched, mouths agape. Mildred, you see, hadn't quite mastered the art of stopping, or steering. But she was definitely moving. Very, very fast. On the local news, weatherman Bob, who secretly longed to be a war correspondent, reported on the historic blizzard with dramatic flair.
The snow shows no signs of abating.
He announced, pointing to a map of the town that looked suspiciously like a child's drawing.
We have reports of unusual activity. It seems some residents are trying to carry on with their daily lives.
He paused for effect.
More on this developing story as we get it.
Meanwhile, Old Man Withers, a retired plumber with a penchant for grilling, decided this was the perfect weather for a barbecue.
He bundled up in his thermal underwear, pulled his trusty grill onto the porch, and got to work.
The smell of sizzling meat wafted through the neighborhood, a bizarre contrast to the sight of swirling snowflakes. "Burgers, anyone?" he called out cheerfully.
His neighbors, still peering from their windows, weren't quite sure what to make of it. Section 6. Fashion in a Blizzard. The work suit on ice. Back on the icy streets, Mildred had abandoned her attempt to ice skate to work. She was currently clinging to a lamppost, her sensible shoes having finally lost their grip.
So much for making a good first impression.
A young man in a business suit, late for his first day at a new job, came skidding around the corner. He saw Mildred, took one look at her predicament, and promptly lost his balance. He landed with a thud, his briefcase flying open, scattering important-looking papers everywhere. Right before a snowball, thrown by an unseen assailant, landed squarely on his head. Section 7. The Indomitable Spirit of Gladys McMillan. But the award for most determined citizen undoubtedly went to Gladys McMillan. Gladys had a hair appointment. Nothing, not even a blizzard of epic proportions, would stop her from getting her roots done. She had tried everything. Walking, too slippery, convincing her teenage grandson to drive her, he just rolled his eyes and went back to his video games. Finally, she hitched her Chihuahua Princess to her granddaughter's old red wagon and set off. Princess surprisingly seemed to enjoy the adventure. Section 8. Snow versus Humanity, Round 1. As the day wore on, the residents of Elm Street continued their valiant, if somewhat ridiculous attempts to conquer the snow. They slipped, they slid, they fell, they laughed. The snow might have been winning the battle, but the human spirit, it seemed, was not so easily defeated.
Shoveling snow with a frying pan? Why not? Ice skating in sensible shoes? Who would have thought?
Grilling burgers in a blizzard? Now that's dedication.
The snow can't stop me.
Well, this is certainly one way to spend a snow day.
They were determined to live their lives, even if it meant shoveling snow with a frying pan, ice skating in sensible shoes, or grilling burgers in a blizzard. Section 9, and the winner is... Spoiler alert, it's the snow. Finally, as the sun began to set, casting a pink glow on the snow-covered landscape, a lone figure emerged from a house. It was Gladys McMillan. Her hair, perfectly coiffed, gleamed in the fading light.
The snow can't stop me.
She took a deep breath, raised her fist to the sky, and declared dramatically. And with that, she tripped on a patch of ice and landed, with a gentle thud, in a snowbank. The snow, it seemed, had the last laugh. But even buried in the snow, Gladys couldn't help but chuckle. It was, after all, just another day on Elm Street.